Security footage from the Atlantic Comedy Theater in Gwinnett County is wild. You can literally see Wanda Smith and her husband right by the front door, eyes locked, as Katt Williams walks out calm, collected, and completely unbothered. It's like a movie scene and fans can't stop replaying it. Social media's been on fire ever since that clip resurfaced. Katt Williams' name is trending again, and people are trying to cancel him for the umpteenth time, this time over his viral roast of Wanda Smith. You remember that infamous radio interview, right? The one where Katt out-talked and outshined her on her own show? It's one of those moments that instantly became internet history. Funny to some, brutal to others. Now, years later, the internet split in two. Some are saying Katt crossed the line and basically ended Wanda's career, something she built over decades of hard work. They're flooding comment sections, calling Katt everything from arrogant to heartless, demanding he apologize not just to Wanda, but to her family too. But here's the twist. This controversy didn't come out of nowhere. It popped off right after Katt publicly apologized to Michael Jackson's family. He admitted he regrets making jokes about MJ in his old specials and said he finally understands that Hollywood had an agenda to pit black entertainers against each other for laughs and profits. "They paid me to tear down my own," Katt said in an interview. That hit people hard. And that's when fans started digging, pulling up every old clip, every viral roast, every feud Katt's ever had. Then boom, the Wanda Smith video reemerged, sparking another firestorm.
Because you're a poor interviewer doesn't mean...
I said you answer the question and just tell me
Man, you're a strong
like.
black woman.
Come on.
You keep interrupting the answer. Everyone can hear it. It sounds like you like me a little bit. It's starting to bleed over the airwaves.
But this time, Dave Chappelle stepped in and flipped the narrative completely. Chappelle defended Katt, saying what happened with Wanda wasn't cruelty. It was comedy.
Hey, if you do anything wrong in your life, and I find out about it, I'm gonna try to take everything away from you. And I don't care when I find out. Could be today, tomorrow, 15, 20 years from now. If I find out, you're fucking finished. Who's that? That's you.
He said Katt was doing what comedians have always done, defend themselves with wit when someone tries to test them. That wasn't bullying, Chappelle said. That was sparring. Wanda threw the first punch. Katt just finished the round. Fans couldn't believe it. Two comedy heavyweights standing on opposite sides of the same moment. Dave even called out cancel culture, saying people need to stop treating every sharp joke like a crime. If you're going to cancel Katt for doing what comedians do, then cancel all of us, he said. And that line blew up all over Twitter. Still, not everyone's convinced. Some people argue that even if it was just comedy, the fallout hit Wanda's career hard. They point out that she stepped back from public appearances after that moment and struggled to recover. Whether comedy should even have boundaries in 2025. What's clear is this. Every time Katt Williams' name gets dragged, the conversation around him only gets louder, messier, and more legendary. So now the question is, was Katt out of line that day, or was it just another moment of raw, unfiltered comedy doing what it's always done? Push buttons, spark chaos, and expose the truth through laughter. This saga's far from over. And just like that, one old interview clip, a few viral tweets, and the internet was ready to torch Katt Williams again. It's crazy how fast the crowd can switch up. The same people who once laughed along with him are now calling him a hypocrite, claiming he owes half of Hollywood, and especially the late Wanda Smith, an apology. One user's post blew up overnight, writing, "Katt Williams is a POS for what he did to Wanda Smith." Another person added, "I remember when Katt roasted Wanda on live."
I swear to God, this might be the noblest of professions. Robin Williams had a bar that I loved. He said comedy is the only job you can have where you can use everything you know. And that's true. You can use more than you know. You can use what you think. Use it. Don't be afraid. Don't let these bitch-ass niggas button your lip.
He stood firm then, and he's standing firm now for Katt. According to Chappelle, comedy has always been about reflection, not perfection. A joke isn't hate, it's a mirror, he said during one of his stand-up sets. Katt didn't destroy Wanda, he reacted like a comedian does when someone challenges them. That line got quoted everywhere, from Twitter threads to blog headlines. Suddenly people started seeing the situation differently. But here's the wild part that not enough folks are talking about. The beef between Katt and Wanda didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling.
Hey, if you do anything wrong in your life, and I find out about it, I'm gonna try to take everything away from you. And I don't care when I find out. Could be today, tomorrow, 15, 20 years from now. If I find out, you're fucking finished. Who's that? That's you.
Katt later claimed that the situation turned physical. He alleged that after the show, Wanda's husband tried to confront him outside the comedy theater, reportedly with a weapon. Katt said, "It stopped being about jokes the moment he stepped up on me." That statement shook fans who thought the feud was just talk show banter. To understand how it all exploded, we gotta rewind to September 2018. Katt and fellow comedian Red Grant stopped by Frank and Wanda in the morning on Atlanta's V103 to promote Red's comedy tour. What should have been a casual 20-minute promo turned into radio history. Wanda tried to tease Katt about his looks and hair, probably thinking it was lighthearted. But anyone who knows Katt knows that if you throw shade, he's gonna throw it back 10 times harder. He started firing off jokes so fast that the entire room cracked up. Even the co-host couldn't hold it together. Wanda, though, wasn't laughing. Her smile faded, her tone changed, and things got awkward quick. By the time Katt left the studio, the clip was already going viral. Within hours, Katt Williams versus Wanda Smith was trending nationwide. Every gossip site, every radio show, every meme page had something to say. Wanda caught the worst of it. People turned her name into a punchline, and her career took a hit she never fully recovered from. Katt, meanwhile, just kept moving, touring, selling out shows, and adding more fuel to his no-filter legend. But that moment haunted both of them. Years later, after Wanda's passing, the internet reopened the wound, now framing Katt as the villain in a story that might have gone way deeper than anyone realized. So now we're left with this question. Was that radio showdown just a roast gone wrong? Or was it something darker that spiraled out of control? Did Katt cross the line? Or did he just do what comedians have always done? Turn pressure into punchlines? One thing's for sure, this story keeps getting messier every time it resurfaces. And honestly, it's so easy to see why that clip went viral again. Because Katt didn't just clap back, he completely hijacked the interview. Wanda thought she was going to get a few playful digs in, but Katt turned that whole radio room into a comedy battlefield. At first, everything seemed chill. Katt and Wanda were trading jokes, the energy was friendly, the laughs were flowing, but then Katt shifted gears and started talking about Tiffany Haddish, and that's when the vibe changed instantly.
You only got Tiffany Haddish. She been doing comedy since she was 16. You can't tell me your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. Why? Because she ain't done a tour yet. She ain't done a special. She has not proven the ability to tell jokes back to back for an hour to nobody.
You could almost hear the air leave the room. Katt started pointing out what he saw as a double standard in Hollywood, saying Tiffany scored her Netflix deal without ever doing a real stand-up tour. He looked straight into the mic and said, "Tell me one original Tiffany Haddish joke you can name, I'll wait." The room froze. Even the co-host didn't know what to say. But Katt didn't stop there, he went deeper. He said the entertainment industry has a pattern. They ignore the real ones with talent and push the ones who fit their mold. According to him, Tiffany wasn't being rewarded for her grind. She was being positioned. Katt said, they picked her because she's non-threatening. She's the safe black woman who fits their image. Then he dropped the line that had social media on fire for days. Tiffany climbed to the top because she talks non-stop about dating white men. And because she's got lighter skin, you could feel the temperature in that studio hit the roof. Wanda tried to hold her ground, jumping in with, "Tiffany blew up because she's real, Katt," but that only poured gas on the flame. Katt leaned in with that slow smirk and said, "She's real? Real what?" And from there, it was over. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't even angry. Just cold precision, word after word, cutting through the mic like a surgeon with a blade. And then came the moment that flipped everything. Out of nowhere, Wanda tried to shift gears, maybe to lighten the mood. She looked at Katt and said, "That's dope. You cook? Do you cook for your kids?" It was meant to sound casual, but everyone in the room knew it was shade disguised as a question. Katt's eyes lit up. You could see the switch flip. He sat up, adjusted his hat, and said in that smooth voice, "Yes, Wanda, I do cook for my kids. Do you?" And then came the verbal knockout combo. He started clowning her hair, her wig, her jewelry, everything. The audience behind the glass was cracking up. The co-host was trying to contain himself, and Wanda, trying to stay composed, just kept saying, "Okay, Katt," through forced laughter. But it was too late. He had the crowd. Katt turned that light jab into a full-blown roast session, and there was no coming back. "See, you can't insult me about cooking when you don't even know what your kitchen looks like," he fired back. "You look like you microwave water." The whole room exploded in laughter. You could literally hear Wanda trying to keep her cool, but the embarrassment was written all over her face. What was supposed to be a fun, quick interview to promote Red Grant's comedy tour had turned into a viral masterclass in live radio combat. Within hours, clips of Katt's comebacks were everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, millions of views and counting. Wanda's fans called it unfair. Katt's fans called it iconic. And the internet, it turned it into a small joke. Wanda forced a laugh, and the tension in the room almost melted away. But just when it seemed like things were settling down, Katt threw a wild curveball that flipped the whole mood upside down. Out of nowhere, he started joking about Wanda's kids. And that's when the interview officially stopped being a Q&A and turned into a live comedy massacre. At first, Wanda laughed it off, trying to keep her cool, but you could see it in her eyes. She was heated. Her laugh got tighter, her voice sharper. She was smiling, but you could tell she was 1 second away from snapping. So she did what a lot of people do when they're losing the verbal war. She went for the personal shots. Wanda brought up Katt's past legal issues, hinted about his height, and even tried to, but that move, it completely backfired. Katt didn't miss a beat. He started mimicking her hand gestures, matching her energy word for word. "One of our hands moving while we talk," he teased, motioning like her in the middle of her sentence. The audience behind the glass lost it. By now, the laughter in the studio was so loud, it drowned out her next line. You could see it on Wanda's face. She knew she'd lost control of her own show. And then, right near the end of the interview, Wanda tried to land one last punch. She called him Lil Mama, and even threw a slick comment implying he might be gay. The second that word left her mouth, Katt stopped smiling. He looked right at her and said, calm but cutting, "See, Wanda, when you can't beat a man with your mind, you start questioning his masculinity. That's lazy." The whole room went silent. That was the knockout moment. You could practically feel the sting through the screen. It was rough to watch. Wanda looked humiliated on her own show, in her own city, in front of her own listeners. Katt wrapped up the segment, smirked, and walked out like he just dropped the mic on national TV. "Hey, Wanda," he joked as he left, "get this inmate out of here." Savage! But the story didn't end there. It was just beginning. Because what happened next turned the whole situation from comedy beef to real-life drama. Reports say Wanda couldn't shake off the embarrassment. Later that same weekend, things spiraled out of control. According to multiple witnesses, Wanda's husband, Lamorris Sellers, showed up at the Atlanta Comedy Theater on the night of September 15, 2018, where Wanda was hosting an event. Katt was outside talking with fans when things took a dark turn. Security footage shows Wanda standing near the entrance, visibly upset, and moments later her husband pulling up and confronting Katt in the parking lot. What started as words quickly escalated. Witnesses say Lamorris pulled out a weapon and chased Katt through the lot while people scattered in every direction. It was chaos. Police were called to the scene immediately, and according to the official police report, Wanda's husband admitted he chased Katt, but swore he never actually pointed the gun. He told officers he only dropped it accidentally while running, but that didn't matter. The damage was already done. The clip hit TMZ, Twitter, and YouTube within hours, and fans couldn't believe what they were watching. What began as a simple roast on live radio had turned into a full-blown altercation that made national headlines. A comedian feud had exploded into something real, something dangerous. And from that point on, the Wanda and Katt saga was no longer about jokes. It was about pride, humiliation, and survival in a world where a few words could spark a war. Wanda had her own side of the story too, and she wasn't holding back. Just a few days later, on her morning radio show, she claimed TMZ dropped a bombshell that flipped everything upside down. They released exclusive security footage from the parking lot of the Atlanta Comedy Theater, and the video appeared to show Wanda's husband, Lamorris Sellers, holding a gun while chasing Katt into a nearby grocery store. You could see Katt running inside as Lamorris jogged behind him. It looked bad. Now, to be fair, the footage never showed Lamorris actually pointing the weapon at Katt. He later told police and reporters that he wasn't trying to shoot anyone, that he just dropped it while chasing him. But by that point, it didn't matter. The headlines had already spread like wildfire. Fans were divided, police were involved, and the situation had officially left the world of comedy and crossed into chaos. Even though the legal side eventually cooled off, the fallout for Wanda didn't stop there. Fast forward a few months to January 2019, and word broke that Wanda Smith had been fired from V103 Atlanta, the same radio station where it all went down. The station never gave a clear reason, but speculation ran wild. Many people online believed it was connected to that infamous Lil Mama comment she made during the interview, the one where she used gay as an insult against Katt. And in Atlanta, a city with one of the largest black LGBTQ+ communities in the country, that didn't sit right with a lot of people. Some insiders even claimed the backlash from that moment made it impossible for the station to keep her on air. One fan tweeted she tried to use gay as a punchline in ATL. She basically ended her own career. As for Katt, he stayed quiet. For years, he never publicly addressed Wanda's firing or the viral incident beyond a few jokes in his live shows. It wasn't until January 2024, during his explosive interview on Club Shay Shay, that Katt finally opened up about what really went down that day. And when he did, he dropped receipts. Katt claimed that the entire Wanda situation didn't start on camera. It started before the interview even began. According to him, Wanda had made a deal behind the scenes that she wouldn't bring up his legal issues or mention his kids. But the moment Katt started talking about Tiffany Haddish and how Hollywood treated black comedians, Wanda broke that promise. She immediately pivoted the conversation and brought up his kids and his time in jail, throwing him completely off guard. That's when, according to Katt, everything spiraled. She went against the agreement, he said. That's why I reacted the way I did. I was defending myself. He explained that he didn't walk into that interview looking for trouble, but when someone tries to clown your life on air after agreeing not to, he wasn't about to just sit there and take it. And honestly, that explanation made a lot of people rethink the entire situation. Fans who once dragged Katt started saying, wait, maybe he wasn't the bad guy after all. Some even called it a setup, saying Wanda and her team tried to push his buttons for views and it backfired spectacularly. By the time Katt finished his 2024 interview, one thing was clear. The Wanda Smith story wasn't just about a roast gone wrong. It was about broken promises, bruised egos, and the kind of behind-the-scenes power play that can turn a simple radio appearance into a career-shaking scandal. Katt didn't sugarcoat a thing when he finally spoke on it. He said straight up that Wanda was trying to humiliate him in front of her gay fan base, turning a regular radio interview into a public ambush. In his eyes, that wasn't friendly banter or professional tension. It was intentional embarrassment. And according to Katt, that moment came back to haunt her. He believes that's the real reason Wanda eventually lost her job and slipped out of the spotlight. Not because of one viral clip, but because of how she handled herself when the cameras were rolling.
This lady is trying to...
Katt made it clear he wasn't just defending himself that day, he was standing up for respect. He said Wanda was trying to play tough in front of her listeners, throwing jabs that went way beyond the line. You can't humiliate somebody and expect them not to fight back, he said, especially when it's live and millions are watching. Then Katt addressed the most shocking part of the entire saga, the altercation outside the Atlanta Comedy Theater. He said he truly felt like it was a setup. He claimed Wanda and her husband turned what started as a comedy roast into something dangerous and that he almost lost his life over a joke. Katt said, "You don't pull up with heat because somebody told a joke. That's not defending your wife. That's trying to end somebody's life." His voice got serious when he spoke on it. It wasn't just about ego anymore. It was about survival. Fast forward to October 2024, and tragedy struck. Wanda Smith sadly passed away just one day after celebrating her 58th birthday. The news spread fast across Atlanta. Radio tributes, throwback interviews, and condolences from other comedians poured in. But Katt, he said nothing. No Instagram post, no interview quote, no public message. Absolute silence. And that silence set off another wave of debate online. Some fans said Katt did the right thing, keeping quiet out of respect instead of turning her passing into a spectacle. One user wrote, "If Katt said anything, y'all would have called him fake." Sometimes silence says more than words, but others weren't having it. They called him cold, saying he should have at least acknowledged her memory, especially since their feud was such a major chapter in both of their careers. Still, nobody really knows what went on behind the scenes. Maybe Katt reached out privately, maybe he didn't. The truth is, no one but him and Wanda's family knows for sure. And that's what makes social media's outrage feel off. Because now, people are digging up that 6-year-old drama again, twisting it into a Katt versus Wanda narrative all over social media, ignoring the fact that Katt says he almost died in that parking lot. It's wild, honestly. The internet forgets fast, especially when there's a chance to point fingers and stir outrage. It's exactly what Dave Chappelle warned about. Cancel culture turning comedy into a war zone. One wrong joke, one misunderstood moment, and suddenly the crowd that once cheered you is building your downfall. Katt's whole career has been built on saying what others won't. And now he's living proof of how dangerous that honesty can be. So maybe this isn't just about Wanda Smith at all. Maybe it's about how the world treats comedians who dare to walk that fine line between truth and offense. So what do you think? Should Katt Williams apologize to Wanda's family like he did with Michael Jackson's? Or is this just another case of people trying to cancel a man for refusing to back down? Let me know in the comments, because this story still has people arguing years later, and the truth behind it might be way messier than anyone expected. No matter which side you're on, this story says a lot about how comedy and the world around it has changed. Katt Williams didn't just survive a smear campaign, a near-violent confrontation, and years of public backlash, he outlasted it all. And now, he stands as one of the few comedians who never bowed down to the industry's pressure or the cancel culture mob trying to silence him. What started as a simple radio roast turned into a saga about power, pride, and truth. Wanda Smith wanted to stand her ground. Katt wanted to defend his name. And somewhere in between, a viral moment changed both of their lives forever. Years later, that same clip still circles the internet, still fuels debates, still proves how dangerous it can be when real life collides with entertainment. Dave Chappelle once said, "Comedy is the last place where truth still lives." And in Katt's case, that truth came with scars. He faced humiliation, threats, and nearly lost his life over a joke, but he never changed his formula. He never watered down his words. Whether you love him or can't stand him, Katt Williams remains the same unapologetic force that Hollywood can't control. Wanda's story, though, serves as a painful reminder that moments don't disappear, they echo. And sometimes, those echoes can shape the way people remember you long after the lights fade. Both of them became part of a larger conversation. When does comedy cross the line, and when does outrage go too far? Now in 2025, that same debate is louder than ever. The internet's full of people arguing about accountability, free speech, and who gets to decide what's too far. But if this story proves anything, it's that cancel culture might win headlines, but truth always survives the storm. So whether you think Katt owes Wanda's family an apology, or you believe he was the one wronged, there's no denying one fact. This was bigger than jokes. It was a clash between authenticity and image, pain and performance, freedom and fear. Because in today's world, one clip can build you or bury you, and Katt Williams, he's still standing. This is BarzBuzz, where we don't just chase gossip, we break down the truth hiding underneath it all. So tell me this, was Katt Williams really out of line, or was he just doing what legends always do? So don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to catch up.